Okay, so going back to this build here, this power build, it's timeless classic Volkswagen GTI Mark II. Um, Basically, I believe I've done all that I can or want to do with this for now. I I don't think I can add any wind. I had a plan to add something, but if I was going to do it the way I was going to do it, um, I could do it, but then it might make removing the top, if I needed to get into it, a little bit more trickier. Not impossible, but doable. Let me open this up a little bit. Oh, before I do that, and also it was going to be filled with like black or clear pieces, similar to the back window. Sorry, it's kind of dark right now, but if you saw my other video, you might know how I did it. But then I was thinking about it also, besides making it harder to open, take the top off if I needed to get in and service something inside, it would basically be flush with the panels, and I don't not sure if that's really what I want to do, because what I didn't like about uh, trying to beef up the side skirts and basically make it straight on the bottom, where the bottom it doesn't go curve in, it's just straight down. Yeah, it adds more body, but then it looks very square. I mean, the profile, this is very square already on the side. um, doesn't angle or curve in much at all, really. So it's very straight, and that's why I decided to keep this. It just gives it some form, um, and I think if I added the windows, it would just add another flat, make it even more flat on the side. This at least, even though there's no actual windows, it just gives it a bit of depth and breaks up the flatness of everything. And I'm probably just gonna leave it off. But going back to this, you can see that the last thing that I was thinking about was how I'm going to display this in here. I'm definitely going to keep it in here, but if you notice, it's kind of dark and you lose a lot of the details. And well, I was trying to think, maybe I should add some lights on the inside. And at first I was going to just uh, find like a LED strip or something. That was my first thought, and run a wire to either power it to the wall or like a USB if I needed to, similar to, oh, these are powered. You can get off Amazon. That's why I got this thing. It's dark, but then I can reach back there, but it's powered by USB right now. But it's pretty good. And I believe it's the power on this. Yeah, it's still pretty good. But anyways, let me grab this out of the way. And I need to really get another thing to set this aside so I can clear up my tabletop. But basically, I looked around and I found these things. These are like these uh, small LEDs. I think they're LEDs. Yeah, it looks like they are. Just looking at the bulb in there, it is an LED. It isn't like an incandescent light. And then it's just these button cell batteries. I'm not sure what kind they are, but they're all pre-packaged like this. And I got it in a pack of, hang on, this stuff here. Got it off Amazon. Button lamps. They got a set of 18. I forget how much it was. It wasn't that much. I'm pretty sure it was less than $20 for all of this. This is more than what I need. And what you can do is, and you can just push it. You can test it basically. But what happens is it's just a flip switch. So you flip this on, and then it turns on, and then you flip it back, it turns off. And I thought it was kind of cool. And it's got a self-adhesive pad here. You can peel this and stick it onto whatever you want. And I said here, yeah, this might be good. It's inconspicuous. You know, it's just going to be up in here. So let me show you what I started to. You got these studs up here, and originally I said, okay, maybe just one right in the middle here would do. But when I did that, you could do it, but then it just illuminated like right here, and there wasn't much light going out to the sides, and it just looked too concentrated here. And then I tried it with this, and basically, here, let me show you. I basically attached it to a 2x2 tile. I just chose black because it's black in here. You can do pretty much anything actually, but I figured just something that doesn't stick out that much, even from the slight angle that you might catch it from. And basically, I put this tile on. I used a fine marker, a fine tip pen to trace out the outline. As you can see, it doesn't. This is round. The adhesive is round, and this is a square, and it won't take up the full thing. And I didn't want to peel off all of the sticker and leave some edges sticky on the outside. It could potentially catch dust and just sticks things on there, and yeah, I didn't see a point. So I just traced it, and then I took the X-Acto knife and just carefully cut out the shape of the that I marked out, and then just peeled the square out. And basically, this is what came off, and only the middle part where I took that backing off sticky, and I stuck the tile there. Then I stick this on here, and let's see, how did I do it? And I played around with it, and so the good thing about this is that, you know, I can always, eventually when these batteries die, I don't plan to keep this on much, so it'll be a while, I imagine. But if they ever do, then all I gotta do is basically peel it off of this tile. It might be, I'm not sure how sticky it is. It could be a little bit of a bitch, but we'll deal with it when that happens. Probably clean it off with some alcohol, whatever is appropriate to clean it without damaging the plastic. At least if there's any sticky residue from a prior, you know, one of these on there, just clean it off as best as possible. Then I can cut out, you know, thing, basically attach a new one that's not used and set it back in. So what I have is that it's set right about, hang on. Okay, so I set it basically on this one, like one row back. So it's occupying like these 4 squares, but on this side, right? So, and what I would do is, if I feel like just displaying it, but then maybe keeping it on and just showing it off. So I have this, and probably I'm going to add at least one more this side, and I probably might do one more right in the middle, just to fill it out. But I do that, and I just close and flip it down, and there you go. Illuminate, and you can see the front. Oh, not from that side unless I open up the doors here. But that's fine though. At least I can kind of, it's better than it was before. And let me back this up a little. And you can imagine if I can set another one back here, at least get this side illuminated, that'd be good. And I'll take it from there. And if it looks like it's enough, I might leave it, but chances are I'll probably put one more just to get full lighting across. 1, 2, 3, and that'll be that. So that's what I'm going to do. I just want to show you how I ended up here, and I think that's, you know, it's all self-contained. I don't have to run wires or anything, and it's easily removable too. It's not permanent, and fairly easy to replace. And you can see I had if I am using 3, and I have a pack of 18 here. It'll be a while. I have like another 5 sets if we're talking about all 3, and yeah. So let me go in here. If I'm done, just admiring the thing. Just, oops, I can't do this one-handed here, especially from this angle. But I can just always pop it off and turn it off like that. But I believe if I just push it on hard enough, it should be fine. And yeah, and it just, the way this folds down, this thing doesn't catch. It just goes right underneath this piece here. So that's good. Yeah, and so that's what I'm going to do with these, and I'll show you the results after I'm done. And I was going to look for more pieces at home, but I just bought like a pack of, I think there's 500. I don't need all these colors. I'm just going to focus on the black, but I figured these were pretty good too. I think I can give these to my kids to use to help build whatever. We actually don't have a lot of plain flat tiles, surprisingly, but this might be good for them. But I'm just going to take 2 more black ones of these. I can use any color really, but again, I just keep it consistent because I have black there, and I'll stick it on there, and then I'll show it to you in a moment. I just wanted to show you. So took the tile out, and you can see they don't necessarily mount the this adhesive round here. It's a little bit off. It's not perfectly centered, so I'll just have to eyeball it. That's what I did with the other one, and find the general center part, which will probably mean it's closer to the right side here. Just to center, I'll just visually eyeball the edge of the tile to like this side of this tab or whatever you want to call it, as well as this side for the other side of the tile. And then in terms of, you know, this kind of placement in this direction that I'm moving up and down, I'll figure out how to center that so it's kind of centered as best as possible. And I'll take this this fine tip pen, and just while it's on there, just lightly draw, or just draw out the edges, and then I'll take a X-Acto knife and just carve into it, and then I'll just peel that middle part out, and then stick that right on there, and then that should be it. And then pop that one of these on here, and then if it looks like it's enough, I might stop, but chances are I'll probably add the third one up here. Okay, so again, here's one that I made, and so I should test it out first before I do this, but this couldn't hurt to do another one. So basically, again, I put the tile on, I kind of placed it about where I think it's about centered. It doesn't have to be perfect, it'll be close enough. I don't think it'll be that far off. And then I will take this X-Acto and just score it, run across the lines, and then I'll peel it off and I'll get that out, and I'll stick the towel in and just show you. Okay, this is what I want to show you just with these two, and let's take a look and see how this does. Just like that. And that's not too bad, but I do think I should add the other one, because now we can see the back pretty nicely. You can see the tailpipes and everything, and then the front wheels, provided that I can always open these doors up to see it better on the sides, but it's fine for what it is right now. And if I really want to get into it and see it, I should just flip the whole thing up, and then that way unobstruct it. But just within the box, if I have this on display somewhere, I can see that. So let's see how it looks like once I get the last one up in the middle. Oh, a quick tip for flipping the switch. I think one is try to use, if possible, two hands, one to hold it just to keep it stable, because the switch is a little bit, I wouldn't say it's stiff, but you know, there is a little bit of tension when I try to flip it one way or the other, and it could potentially lift the tile off, or the light along with the tile, and then, you know, just got to reset it. Not a big deal. This side I have with my hands. I would do it with, I guess I've been doing it with my left hand. Maybe I could do it with my right, but I'd probably keep that, because I don't think, can I open this door? This side is not as friendly to open for some reason. I guess maybe because it just doesn't have the handle, but I guess I could flip it open too. But as a tip, if you're doing this side, this definitely has the handle here. And so it's kind of meant to be open on this side more, I feel like. So just to give my hand, these fingers and the knuckle right here to flip it. Even back the other way, it'd be a good idea to just temporarily open this and do that. Just an FYI. Okay, got the third light installed. Take a look at this, and I think that'll work. I mean, technically I could probably do 4. Do I really want to do 4? Well, it's going to be too close to there. I can do 5 all the way across, but I think this will suffice. It'll basically give me enough illumination to see it in there. I mean, it would be nice to have it all the way across, but I think that might be a little overkill. Because again, I don't really plan to display this. This is how you can look at it from this bottom. It doesn't look too crappy, I guess. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Just gives it enough illumination in there just to show it off. And when I want to keep this container on and maybe just enjoy it for a moment. I don't know how often I'll actually do this, but it did bother me that it was so dark inside here, because all this it's covered up pretty much once, you know, 4, you don't count the bottom, it's counted out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, right? 4 of them are all covered, and so you only get really light from one direction. And so yeah, I think this would be pretty cool. And this says Timeless Classic all around. Even on the back, it's basically the same logo, just bigger on the other side. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Just like that. And I guess for now, I can call it quits because I basically did everything that I wanted to. I made like a custom. Let's open this up, and I'm gonna flip this open so I can get my hands here. Just flip it, and just push down on it, so it just after turning this, it doesn't want to lift off as much. Close this. I should probably take. Hang on a second. What I got myself for Christmas was one of these, like a rechargeable blower instead of using the compressed air, and I'm using that to just kind of to blow that guy back out. It can get pretty strong, actually. I gotta be careful with it, just because it can knock down like probably all the minifigures if I angle it that way on full blast, and I don't need that. But yeah, it's just a way to keep my area, because no matter how much I close the window, nothing, there are no windows that are open. It just comes from the vents. Also, it's pretty minimal like this. Just two more settings. This one is pretty major because I can start to feel that blower starting to push back pretty hard, and this is a good way to keep the dust off of my stuff, especially if you got Legos on display or any other toys for that matter. That's why I try to keep these in here. By the way, if you're curious how this looks like, let me turn this on, or I can reach in back here. There we go. And it's just on one side, but I think it's pretty cool though. I mean, it illuminates just enough in here. I think this was made for 124 scale cars. So these, I don't think are 124 for sure, but I think they just happen to fit within the space. For the most part, they do stick off a little bit on the ends, but that's okay. At least on the sides, they fit. And I don't think I ever showed off these Legos. I did these a while ago. When did they come out? Last year, like right around F1 season, or maybe just prior to that. I got these mainly. Well, I'm not the biggest F1 fan, to be honest, but I think they're cool and I like them. And I only chose these mainly because I'm into watches. So these have like watch brands on them, like, and I think the team colors and everything are pretty cool too. But in terms of like actual true like F1 fandom, not quite there. But I can appreciate the technology and the race and the history and everything that goes into throughout this. It's a pretty cool sport. But I just got this because this one has the Tudor sponsor, right, as a sponsor, and I think there's another one too. But then yeah, Tag Heuer. I'm a big Tag Heuer fan as well, and so I got that, as well as my the Senna right here, classic from the 80s primarily, right? Maybe into the early 90s before he died, unfortunately, or a car crash. But yeah, this has been tricked out too a bit. I did some customizing, pretty heavy, like along the back here. One of these days I should go over it. I just thought I would just leave it and do it myself. I mean, just make it and not do anything with it. But I probably should do something. At least I don't think I've done a video on it, have I? If I have, then I'm tripping. But anyways, I just had a mix of parts. I customized this area primarily in terms of the shaping and the bricks. That includes some of this area right here, and definitely up in front here. I redid that because I thought that what they did here was a little too much and didn't look right, as well as putting some custom stickers just to fill out the the shape better. I think that it will look more accurate. I mean, this in general isn't necessarily one specific model as it says it's supposed to be. This MP44 44. Yeah, it's actually kind of an amalgamation of different, race cars that he's had throughout the years, I think. And so I'm trying to do the same thing, but make it better than what they did. And I did get like the upgraded like decals. Well, I consider them upgraded to, put the marble branding. I just think that was important. I don't smoke anymore, but I'm not trying to promote it, but I think that was definitely a signature, design thing here. And I didn't like everything was just McLaren back there. I had to fix that. They didn't have stickers for at least a lot of things weren't there. And I added the Goodyear ones, and they're actually on the inside as well. Sorry, I'm digressing a bit. And of course, this is redone a bit. And I kind of redid the front to add the marble and change the shape. This used to be, I think, more of a round. I actually removed all the white paint, but I almost goofed up because whatever I used kind of melted the plastic, or started to, and I caught it before it got really bad. And I carefully, wet sanded it smooth again, and then polished it back up. And yeah, it's like nothing happened pretty much. And this area here, the mirrors were the wrong color, or at least maybe the ones, the arms that are holding it in were white. They should be black, and a couple of other things. There's other things I would like to have done, but I wanted to not go too overboard and on modifying this to make it look too closer to spec. Would have liked to have gone the ones on the other F1 that they did with the elf and the camel. Well, they don't put the cigarette markings on that, but the is it Renault? I'm trying to think what the other one is. I think that's what it is. But this is the yellow and blue one. That other one, they started to have the fatter tires, which they should have on the rear, but they're kind of pricey to get them after, on Bricklink or something. It's doable, but then I was like, I don't know. I just held off on it. They do make 3D printed ones, but then they don't look that great to me. There's a lot of banding, with 3D printing. There's like those, you can see that those lines from the print marks, and I probably have to sand it and smooth it, and they're not rubber, and I don't know. I just felt like at this point, after I did as much work as I did to get it to look like this, I was pretty happy with it. It's that, except for the hardcore people, most people won't really pay attention to that, and that actually requires me to modify. It's not, I can't just stick the wider tires there because the offset is going to be not correct. I probably have to modify it so that I believe it needs to sit inboard slightly more, and it's doable. I know people have done it, but yeah, I already put like quite a bit of work into it, so I was like, I'm good right now. I'll think about it, and when I feel up to the task of redoing this, so that whatchamacallit, these are wider, and that's probably the last thing I need to do. Then that's fine. But yeah, I think I did a video on this. And anyway, so yeah, I thought these were cool, and because I didn't finish, but Mercedes has IWC as a watch sponsor, right? And they make some pretty cool watches too. So anyways, yeah, that's how it looks like. And then I can just turn it off. But this makes for kind of a nice display at night, if I just chilling, want to look over and just admire some of the cars and stuff. So anyways, yeah, did I finish talking about this? I think I already basically went over everything that I did with this, but here it is, everything, the display case that it comes with. Just added these lights. They're not the best looking, but they're okay. And mostly they're hidden underneath for the most part, and you can't really see it that much. And even if you can see it low angle, it's not that terrible. I think the main thing is that it does the job for illuminating the model inside this container. But yeah, I like this. I was going to change the headlights, but I think I might leave it. I'm not sure if I want to necessarily change it to make it like a solid, like a brighter silver. Yeah, I might see if I can get a custom VW logo sticker made for that, the center part there. You can see it's too dark. You can just make it out right now. I think the auto exposure or something is kind of trying to compensate here. But yeah, I kind of like the way I did this. Just again, just basically inverted the stock form of parts, and so that instead they angle down, they angle outwards. And yeah, so I think that's enough to just kind of give it a more meatier chin in our front area. This I left stock. I think it looks better just again with the contours and the kind of, you know, contouring just a bit more like in those areas, and it doesn't look so flat. Look at the side, it's really flat already, and I didn't want it to be that squared. You know, this gives it just a little bit more, less flatness. And so I modified this. Is this the B pillar? Because this is the A, right? And I guess this is the B, and this is the C. But anyways, this part was like one stud over, and that's just too far back. You know, too far away from the handle. You know, handle to use to open the door, as well as that makes that back window too small. It's like you can see it, like if I put my finger, it'd be like about that big, and then the front is a bit too long, and it should be almost balanced between the front and back if you look at the GTI. I'd say again, if I could, I could. I would like to have added like at least a little bit of height to make it the roof line a little bit taller. I think that would make it look just that little bit more accurate, proportionately. You know, it's just a tiny bit low for it, but I think it's passable. But and then again, if I did that, that would change a lot of the stuff. Like it wouldn't match the window angle here, the plastic clear kind of piece in here. That's gonna, because when you put this up, this angle will be steeper down. It just wouldn't work. And also this will be off too, because this will be up here, and then I can't get a piece that will angle up towards that as well. So it's a compromise, but I think it's fine. I think this still looks pretty good. Can't see it too well, but I did add some pieces, as I mentioned probably in the previous video, to square off and make that dash a little bit more rectangular and more closer to how it would look like in the actual Mk2 GTI. It's very boxy dash. I'm trying to get in there, just try to show it to you, but I don't know if you can just make it out there. And so that's the big thing. And then back seat, again, you can't really see, but again, I think I showed it in the previous video. I filled that out. It kind of just looked like one big giant seat in the middle because the way it tapered on the sides, the way they have us use these pieces that were angled in. So I made it more squared out, so it just fills out the back seat area more. And I left this in between the upgrade part. I didn't want the rear valence or spoiler. It just stuck out too much, and yeah, just too much. And I just made it so that there's an extra set of exhaust tips. So you know, it's like a custom exhaust. Normally it would just come out one side, but I think this looks pretty cool because my current GTI has dual exhaust, not quad like Ford, like just one single tip here and one single tip there. And my R32, the Mark IV that I had, was the same thing too. But yeah, I don't need to make it exactly the same. I think it looks kind of cool with like the four exhausts like this coming out, the four exhaust tips. And then I modified the tail lights. They were all clear orange, these two, as well as on that side, of course. And that didn't look right. It shouldn't be amber. It should at least be, if anything, all one color. It should maybe red, but really the stock GTIs, if you look at it from the back at least, they're actually kind of three color zones. But I like it when, I think they're aftermarket, or maybe the European market version might have had these ones where it's like the top half was clear, or sometimes smoked clear, and then the bottom is red. And so it's like two parts like that, and that's basically what emulated, which I think looks a lot better. And then I got rid of those horizontal banding, like they use these just the I want to say grill pieces, or they might be called something else, but you saw the video, you know how and how they originally went to do to make this, and I did do it, but it didn't look good. It looked kind of messy, and I just got some 1x6 black, two of them, and stuck them together and made a more smoother appearance. I think that works better, cleaner. I didn't need all that busy bullshit. Um, I would have liked to maybe put like a little lip spoiler in the back. I didn't like the giant one that they had to. You might want to use as one of the aftermarket parts or custom parts for this as an option that they included. That's just way too big. It was just like a little edge, and I think I could have made one with a wedge piece. Like I flipped it around. It might have been close, but it just wouldn't have made it all the way to the edge because it would end right there. And I think that this might not just quite look right, so I left it off. Just a nice clean, over a more cleaner GTI. Again, this would have been cool if they offer this kit in other colors other than red. I would have liked I mean, all black would have been cool, but they've been maybe been too plain. I'd like to see some of the details come out. These might have been kind of cool if they were painted. If we can get these, as I thought, maybe get a set of these in red. Some of the point in time, so it's all body color as well. That might actually look pretty cool. Might consider that. Let me think about it. And then it would fill out that. I think is that part of the fender? I forget if that black part is part of the fender or is it actually. It might be a separate piece. I can't really tell. If it is part of it, then that would be good. Then everything will be red, even those that little part that's kind of showing a little of a square corner. It's not a big deal here to me, but if I did decide to make this red to match the body, just to make it look even more like a wide body, because it just extends the body out around here. And is this popping out a little bit? Tripping. That might be something I might look into. I'll see. I gotta look at the instruction and see how these parts are exactly. If that will actually change, maybe. Yeah, yellow, white body, that would have been cool. They just had some other options, but I mean, red is cool and sporty too. And maybe do a VW logo there. I was thinking of trying to make it clean with a just grill, a straight grill piece across. Right now it's broken up by that black part in the middle, and too bad they don't make these grill pieces. You see there it's a 1x1 instead of these which are 1x2. You just get one to fit right in there. That would be cool, but they don't make that, so I'm not sure how else I would otherwise replicate this unless it's with a decal or something else, but I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad the way it is right now. It's just like it's debadged and just blacked out in the grill, which is cool, but that's something that's still kind of on my mind. And that's basically it. So yeah, this got pretty long again, as per usual, but just wanted to show off how this all came together, and where I think I'm good at calling it quits and done by now. It should be good to just display, but if I consider again any options, maybe the fenders, I might see if I can get a red set and test those out and see how that looks. Could be pretty cool. And I don't know if I'm gonna worry about that grill. Other than that, I don't think that's it. I think that's it. It would be cool to see gauges in that instrument cluster. I don't know if I can find some sort of decal that I can put to simulate that. But again, that's the closest thing that I might change is going to be the fenders, now that I think about it. But for now, this is all good. All right, thanks for watching. Later.